So, you know, I think I was 15 or 16. It was ninth grade. You know, I basically got kicked out of my original high school and got sent to what's called an alternative high school. You know, some of the fans, or maybe one of the 5 listeners that we have, knows what an alternative school is. Anyways, but I went there, man, and you know, we had a Spanish teacher, and clearly, honestly, she was one of the, you know, best teachers we had there, but she was out, right, because she was pregnant. She must have went into labor. You know, they didn't really tell us. They said, oh, the Spanish teacher's out. So they just bring in this really strange substitute teacher, this guy that, he didn't know a lick of Spanish, okay? So I don't think maybe he lied on his resume. I don't know. Okay, but here's what he did. for the week that he was there, we just watched the Evil Dead movies each day. So he played 1 and then 2 the next day, and then the third day he played 1 again.
Really?
So I don't think he made it to the end of the week, you know. But anyways, that's the last time I seen the first Evil Dead. But yeah, the guy didn't make it to the end of the week. There, you know, eventually, the principal or whoever it was, realized that this substitute Spanish teacher was just watching Evil Dead movies.
Oh, man, that's amazing, man.
Did I ever tell you that story?
No, you never told me that. That's amazing, man.
Okay, I thought I did.
No, that's incredible. Yeah, what was that? Yeah, I know what school you're talking about, too.
He was just this overweight, you know, middle-aged Italian guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Did he know the films?
Did he know
what he was putting on, or did he put them on and walk away? Here you go, kids.
Oh yeah, no, he knew that.
He was a fan of them.
I think he wanted us just to think that, you know, we thought he was cool.
He was playing B-rate Evil
wouldn't...
Dead. Oh my goodness. That's not putting on The Shining or something. You know, that's generally accepted.
Yeah.
You know, as a great film. I mean, I think the Evil Deads are fantastic, but
well, you know, maybe the guy had an alcohol problem. They probably told him, or maybe he was honest. He's like, hey, I don't know Spanish. I'll fill in.
Right.
But they're probably oh, just put in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably where the conversation ended. You know, on their side, they were probably assuming he thought they meant a Spanish-speaking movie, but he probably just took it as, oh, just put on a movie.
Yeah,
you know?
Right. It's just any movie, and that's the ones he picked, huh?
Where's that 46? Come on. Hey, listen, a great example, right? When your number's called, being ready.
DFL Football 25.
No, doesn't he mean hello, Buffalo? Let's go, baby. Come on, Bills Mafia. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Now, he's right. Mr. Farley was correct. I guess Washington is also playing tonight. Washington versus the Bengals. That should be very interesting, but we're not really here to talk about that one. We are here to discuss the Buffalo Bills, Jags tonight, 7:30, Monday Night Football. I hate it when they do 2 games because obviously I'm watching the Bills, but I'm an NFL geek, man. I'll go around the league. I'll watch every game. And here we are to my buddy, you know him, Chucky Calzone. He's here to talk about it. We're recording the episode a little early today. I have to go get fitted for a tux for a wedding that I really don't want to attend, people. No, this is congratulations to Chucky Calzone. It's his wedding. But we're not here to discuss his nuptials. Right? Nuptials? It's nuptials, I believe. I might have to edit that out. Depending how stupid I sound. We'll see. If I sound real dumb, it's no surprise to our listeners here. Welcome in the DFL Podcast, episode 3. Big time, baby. We're getting big time. Let's go. Talking Bills, talking NFL around the league, talking films, as you heard in the opening there. But let's move on. Here in Western New York, the skies are they're as gray and dismal as many people's attitudes toward this game tonight. Many Bills fans are very nervous, shaky on this drizzly day. You know, it's funny. I'm listening to local Buffalo radio this morning, and they say the rain came in early this morning, and it hasn't really it hasn't rained that much, and it's gonna be it's as it clears up here. I'm looking around this morning, and it's 11 o'clock, and it's still raining. I'm driving in it, and I was on transit not far from Orchard Park. I was down in a little past Walden, Cheektowaga. So, going. Yeah, it's I don't know how I know I had to get glasses, and I'm looking out there, and I'm looking over the tree, and it doesn't look like it's not raining over Highmark Stadium. But hey, let's stay optimistic. I like the optimism. You know that. If you've been listening to the show, or if you know anything about me from other podcasting, or maybe you just know who I am, whatever, I've bumped into you on the street. Maybe we've had a liaison. You know that I'm an optimistic guy. But let's move on, and I'll just bring you right to. We got to because of the shift, the tux fitting debacle today. We had to bring in Doubting Thomas a little early, so we're gonna take you right over to him. And, let's go, baby.
Obviously, I'm going with the Bills, but I tell you, I'm not changing my mind on believing that I doubt very much that anybody can beat the Bills, because I still believe that if the Bills are on their game, they're probably the most powerful team in the NFL. If people want to recognize that or not, they will by the end of the season. They have no choice. But my point is, I watched a few games yesterday, and one that we have coming up against Baltimore. Buffalo better be on top of their game when they get there next Monday, I believe it is. And
Baltimore Sunday night,
because Baltimore,
yeah,
they're running hard, they're playing hard, and they want to prove themselves. I think they were embarrassed over the first 2 weeks, and anything can happen. Yeah. But on the other side of the coin, I've seen teams that should have won lose to teams that they should have beaten for sure. And Buffalo, I believe Buffalo is going to be ready. I don't think Sean McDermott is going to have these guys lay down. And I like this defensive strategy that we're getting from this Babbage. How do you say his last name?
Babbage.
Yes. He has that defense going, and I don't think they're going to slack up. I think they have finally realized that they have to put the pedal to the metal, as they say, and keep it there. They have to keep it that way. Don't give the opponent the chance to catch up to you, because yesterday, the way the Rams came back on the 49ers, the way that the Panthers came back. I mean, these are teams that shouldn't have even been in to the game.
So what are you saying, that you're expecting an upset of sorts tonight?
Yeah, I feel that Jacksonville is hungry. They have face to save.
Yes.
They really do. And
yes, that's true, man. That's where the doubting comes in.
But
it's spot on.
With that attitude, with that chip on their shoulder. And but to stay, true to my word, I doubt that the Jacksonville Jaguars can do it. Ooh. And it should hold up. The Bills should beat them convincingly. But I don't think Buffalo's going to have that. I don't think they're going to go soft. I don't think this year that's going to happen. And believe it or not, I give thanks to Poyer for that, because Poyer has said to the media before the Miami game, Buffalo has a tendency of letting up on defense, and they lose.
I think that was some bulletin board for material for the defense.
Yeah. And, it's, and maybe that's why Buffalo didn't let up on Miami. Maybe they had that feeling. They go, you think we're going to let up? And I'm hoping that was part of the kick in the ass, to be frank with you. And,
sure.
So anyway, Doubting Thomas doubts that the Jaguars are going to win tonight.
Yeah, no, that's good. Now, you want to, Chucky? You have any questions for Downey Thomas? Or you want him to look forward, or?
I don't know, man. Tommy, are you gonna pick him to win every week? Just wondering, like, how objective you are. Man.
Am I picking Buffalo to win every week?
That's what he's asking. How objective you are. Yeah.
I let me put it this way. I feel they should win. You know, they're too strong of a team. And they have a good depth chart. I mean, I know there's injuries and stuff, but they know how to step up to the plate when they have to. And, you know, like next man up, they're really not losing anything.
Right. Well, and, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like it can also be argued. Some have said, you know, that it's, you know, that's a defensive thing. It's like pretty much no matter who you put out there, it's going to be the defense is going to contend with under Sean McDermott because he's a brilliant defensive mind. So what it comes to is, do we have enough depth on offense? Is what, you know, kind of the question can be. But I think we are in a better spot than we've been in a while, without the need to focus on one guy and all that. And I'm not going to go too far into that, but you know, that's more the question, I guess, or the point of it.
Well, I feel the same way that the offense. I really like the way Joe Brady is designing these plays and stuff, and I like the fact that Allen has this team believing everybody eats, right. and we all know what that means. They don't have that give me the ball thing from one certain guy.
Right.
You know, teams that start 2-0, they actually make the playoffs 72.9% of the time. All right, so that puts us in a really good spot, man. And teams that start 0-2, they make the playoffs only 8.8% of the time. Okay, so the Jags are 0-2, right? So their chances of making the playoffs are about 8%, man. So that's, you know, they could do it, but it's very, very probably, you know, not very likely. But what I'm trying to find, man, you know, I've been looking all over the internet this morning, is like, what are the statistics for 0-2 teams that play 2-0 teams? I haven't found anything yet, man. I'm going to keep looking. But I'm a little bit worried about that, especially with, like, you know, we'll bring on, you know, the Shadow in a couple of coming episodes to get a little bit more into the conspiracy theories of the NFL. But I kind of wonder, man, the league wants parity. The league wants fan bases to always feel like their team is in it, you know? So I'm a little bit worried when an 0-2 team plays a 2-0 team. Because, like, you know, calls might go, you know, the 0-2 team's way a little bit more. Man, I'm just saying, I have a little bit of caution, you know, a little bit of concern about that tonight. I wonder what you guys think about that.
Wow,
or am I just
that is
am I just out on a ledge somewhere, you know, or with tinfoil hat on?
No, I wouldn't say you are. I think it's becoming pretty common idea, and we've seen it. I mean, it can be argued a lot with kind of the circus sideshow that the referee calling was last night at the end of the Dirty Birds game. I mean, and it's like,
yeah, that's definitely was terrible.
That was something that had me kind of beside myself.
It's
kind of weird,
were fresh on the job,
to watch so much football and never see such kind of, what was it, the Benny Hill show? It was kind of reminded me of that. Just with the calls,
Benny
you know.
Yeah. It looked pretty bad.
I mean, it was, and it's hard to say though the favor, because at first it's going, that's definitely a pass interference in the end zone that's not being called, and then they're giving the game to the Chiefs, and then we go, well, then they're just walking the Falcons down the field the next drive for the most. And I guess
that was very strange.
It was, yes. So I guess maybe that's how they keep you on your toes, and say, no conspiracies here. Don't look here. I know the Shadow will have some things to say about that, but maybe that's the way you do it. Kind of divert. It's kind of hiding in plain sight. No. See, look, no, we throw crazy calls for the other team too. We're just idiots. It's not a conspiracy. We're just dumb.
Yeah, I don't. It looked bad like that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's by design that the NFL does that for, ratings and what have you, that they have these teams that are losing and they know that they're going to be down, around the cellar at certain points. I mean, just looking at the rosters, maybe they have it situated that way. I get Charlie's point, and that kind of makes me say, I really, really hope that Buffalo has turned that corner where they're not going to slack off, because there's no way they should lose that game tonight.
Yes, I hear you, Doubting Thomas. I think we got to let you go, though.
I get the same kind of feeling, like, beware, because Jacksonville's going to be hungry.
I hear you.
Okay, so then I'll just say this. I say Buffalo wins. A good performance by both sides of the ball, like last week against Miami. And as far as the second game, it was the Bengals and Washington, I think.
Yeah, that's the other game.
Yeah. The
Pick it.
Bengals should pull this out.
Bengals are pulling it out?
Yeah, they should pull it out. You know, but only going by. I don't think Washington's defense is strong enough to hold back Burrows and company.
All right.
And have a great day.
Talk to you later, Tommy.
All right, guys.
Always good to hear from you, Tommy. Thanks for joining,
man.
man.
Do you want to talk predictions? I mean, what do you thinking? Like Doubting Thomas said. He said he's afraid of the desperate team, of course. So.
Yeah. No, I am too, man. That really was what I was going to talk about, man.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm worried that they're kind of like a wounded dog. You know, what did Trevor Lawrence, say to the media? He said our offense stinks or sucks.
He said we suck right now.
Yeah, we suck right now. So, that could go either way, man. His offense, the team.
And do you think there's extra motivation from Gabe Davis and Mitch Morris? Do you think there's a little?
Yeah,
little
it could be like a
there?
Gabe Davis revenge game. I don't know. Is he that type of guy though?
I don't think he is. I don't think he's jaded with the Bills.
Yeah, does he have that type of energy? But anyway, the way that a team could respond to Lawrence's comment, they could either respond like angry and like really play hard, or they could go the other way and take it to heart and like think that they really do suck, and then just like kind of mail it in and be looking for the boss later tonight.
Right.
We'll see, man.
That's and you don't take it in this direction. I do a little bit, and I know maybe it's what makes the DFL podcast a little different than other football talk shows. But we have an argument about this not an argument, but we've discussed. You don't put any idea really into the idea of like any superstition whatsoever. And I'm not saying I'm superstitious, but I feel like there's juju, man, and there's the energy, man. Energy makes a big difference. Energy is everything. It's all of matter. So, is there, especially then that's the mind game too. I mean, we know not everybody on the team. Now, that's what I think it would there is to say about it with this game in particular is because of all the turnover with the Bills, especially. That maybe the majority of this roster isn't jaded by the Urban Meyer game or the London game, But do you think there's any truth to the superstition? And that we just for there's just playing this team, they're hungry. There's some doubt to be thought for the Bills there.
In a different way than you do, I guess. Because I mean the way that I look at it, because I work in mental health, is that it's not necessarily, that there's a such thing as like, curses or bad luck, or like, I think that if people believe that, then it does it's like self-fulfilling prophecy, or it's like, you know what I mean? Like if you believe something is going to happen, there's a very good chance that it could. That's the whole basis of like cognitive behavioral therapy, man, is that, if you believe you're a loser, you're probably going to be one, You set up these mental walls that, that block you from potential. Yeah, it's the same thing with things like this, man. Like, if you think that there's something weird going on, if you think that there's some, like, bad juju in the air, you're kind of going to be playing a little bit nervous, or, like, a little bit, like, expecting something weird to happen.
Right.
So that's how I think that it is real, is that when people believe it, weird things do happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think the only difference is I take it this different direction, because you have that, as you said, you work in mental health, and I do not. But I think of taking it further to the point of not only is that, if you think you're a loser, well, you're going to become. But that happens because, and I go into the direction of spiritually speaking, that happens because we're making it happen by thinking it's going to. We're creating that to happen. And that's such a weird thing with football because you got large fan bases and everybody's thinking that their team's going to win or their team's going to lose. So it's something that has to happen in the locker room if we stay on football with it. But I like taking discussion, even in this show, take discussion in the direction of, psychology and spirituality is a great touch because it's all connected, man. And football is
I don't think.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying that I don't believe, even like a tiniest bit of like what you're saying. I kind of do. Like my spirituality does think that if there's enough collective energy, like if there's enough people believing something, again, there's no like science to back this, but I do think that there's like a power behind that if there's enough people that believe something is going to happen, I think it can. I think it can influence the way that the world works, But anyways, just a couple of quick, Bills, Jags.
Yeah, let's
history.
get on it, man.
What was it? It was Jim Kelly's last game.
Oh, yeah, yes. The loss to Jacksonville.
95, 96. Didn't he get hurt?
Yeah.
What a sad ending.
Yeah.
Well, not,
but I think he had like 2 picks in that game or something, too.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good, Yeah, I know that's why. That was what I was kind of getting to with the superstition. That's why. But go ahead, man.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I think the Jags are 10-9. Like, I think they have the advantage over us. Because we played 19 times. This team, because they were an expansion team in the
95.
The 90s. So we only played them. What's that?
They were in 95, right? We've had 19 games.
Yeah.
I think it's 10-9. I think you're right. So it's slightly skewed. So this should be 20th meeting, even it out, 10-10.
Right.
There's something to be said for that.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope, man.
Or maybe that's just positive Bills fan thinking.
Yeah, exactly. But that other weird Tyrod playoff game. 9-6. There's that Urban Meyer game, which. Talk about believing in bad juju. Like, something was going on the Bills sideline that day.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, there's a lot of people out there, they don't believe in momentum.
Right.
But, of course, again, like, working in mental health, man, I do. Like, again, you start to get down and you think that, like, there's no way you're going to win this game. Like, nothing's going your way. Again, it's going to kind of create that reality.
Right,
like your mindset. Especially on a team, man, where people feed off each other's...
Yeah.
Like attitudes.
I feel like all it could possibly be is the more people involved in this energy that you're building, the more balance, the more delicate the balance becomes, and the more of it you need, and the harder it is to do.
And then that game in London last year, it's, you could say that the odds were against us, just based on schedules, what. Jacksonville was already out there for like a whole week. They played a game.
Oh my goodness,
before?
that was the scheduling was ridiculous. I feel like the Bills Mafia should have band together and sued Roger Goodell. And how you could allow a schedule like this when to give them such a rest advantage with being there for 2 back-to-back games. It is ridiculous, especially saving money on flights. Come on, man. There was no reason they had to schedule them 2 weeks in a row. Nothing could have been done there. Yeah, what really hurt about that was because had it just been a loss, I'd laugh about it, kind of like the Urban Meyer game. You mentioned the Urban Meyer game. The first thing I think of is Urban Meyer kicking his kicker in practice. What do you call him? A dumbass, you useless dumb shit or something. He called him. It's not funny.
So.
He's kicking his players and stuff.
I think a dumb shit.
But when I think of the London game, I go Matt Milano, Daquan Jones, these guys, these pillars of our defense going down, like dropping like flies, and that's like that's what makes it like, I don't know, like, it makes it a little harder of a pill to swallow, I guess, because of the scheduling disaster that was. Yeah. But either way, man, we also should have been more prepared. Bills should have flown out there on Wednesday or Thursday,
This matchup, like what?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I figured we'd
kind of skip over that.
No. I figured that's what we'd go into first. We talk mostly Bills anyway, man, right? So
and then around the league.
Yeah. Because I pulled up like the other games and just see if we can go through them like as fast as we can, which could be kind of fun. And then and also give the like your top 5, maybe AFC or even a power ranking of the league if you wanted to. But like
that sounds good.
5, but But yeah, so go ahead, man. I I was talking about matchups. I like Josh Hines Allen versus I guess Deion Dawkins or Spencer Brown. That's why I wish I knew. I might cut that part out.
I think he goes against Deion, but he bounces all over. But
Yeah, of
I
course.
think primarily Allen plays on the right because I think he's an edge rusher, but I think he's more of a linebacker, right?
Right.
And he lines up on the right side.
Okay,
Pretty
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so
Or the weak side.
that's gonna be interesting. Whoever is it gonna be? I mean, what role is Davis in their offense right now? Is he number 2? I mean, they have.
From what I'm seeing so far, it looks like he's playing the exact same role he did with the Bills. I think he's got 6 catches, Bill.
So who's going to be playing against him?
But it's a similar role where he's primarily like a run blocker, and then maybe he'll catch a couple of big passes down the field, here and there. But yes, I think he's got 6 catches so far on the year in 2 games, which is better than I think what he was doing with the Bills. But still, it sounds like he's, same old Gabe Davis. It sounds like.
Yeah, well, I don't. He was here for a while. I don't expect too big of a leap from him in one game, but he could have a want to show that he should still be here. But
yeah. No, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is their receiving leader.
Okay, what do you think of? Oh, Thompson Jr. That's right. What do you think of?
No, Thomas Jr. Yeah,
Thomas
Brian
Jr.
Thomas
Jr. What do you think of Etienne too in our run defense though?
So of all the matchups, that's what I'm worried about. So first, Evan Ingram isn't playing, which is good because like with Spector starting in the middle, I would be worried about him covering Evan Ingram. So luckily he's out today, so that's good. But that is probably the number one like matchup that I'm worried about is Travis Etienne against our run defense. I mean, Achane gashed us last week, and I feel like Travis Etienne, he's a very similar style back. Like he's quick, So I'm worried about that.
Yeah, he's elusive.
That's probably I'm not too worried about their passing game. I mean, Lawrence does have the ability to light it up, and with still like kind of like the unknown of our starting safeties, I'd still like have just a tiny little bit of concern, but I think we match up pretty well with our secondary. I think the number one concern for me is them running the ball against us. Well, I think they've really been struggling. So matchups to our advantage. Mm-hmm. I think they've been struggling with protecting Lawrence. I don't think he's had the most time back there this year so far. So I think our D-line could really give him some fits tonight.
Absolutely, man.
Do you want to go around the league, man? I don't know.
Is there anything else we want to say about the game? That's kind of what I was looking at, too. I glanced over at some stuff, but it's like, we've covered pretty much everything about it, I think, really, because what is there to say to wrap up the Jacksonville game? Here's a really hungry team coming in that makes you just nervous right off the bat. We have a wild history with them that seems to be kind of skewed in their favor, especially as of recently. And these things have all been rehashed over and over in the media the last, 10 days that we've been waiting for this game. So, when it comes to the matchups, I think that's exactly what most people are watching for. Same as we've said, Josh Hines Allen coming in off the edge, watching him against Dawkins or whoever he's facing. Etienne, definitely, he's an elusive back that and we've been getting a little bit gashed up by the run. We'll see if they don't fix that. And then I'm watching the old players. I'm looking forward just to seeing how we handle Davis if he does anything different, because I'm not expecting him to. And I think it'd just be fun to see if he's trying something new, try something different, and how we are prepared for that. Because he knows he's been up against Benford and Douglas in practice many times. So that'll be interesting, and if how they try, what they try and do, because I'm kind of expecting Jacksonville to pull a bunch of tricks. So other than I think that kind of caps up Jacksonville. You want to go around the league?
Sure, man. Just real quick, they allowed about 490 passing yards this year, so it's like an average of like 245 a game. So there's opportunity for Josh to light it up if that's the game plan that we have, man. As far as
You think? Yeah, that's my last question would be, do you think it's going to be more pass-heavy game or more balanced?
It could be, man, but their defense hasn't really been that great against the run either. I think they've allowed, about 206 yards on the year. That's 100 a game. I mean, that's, it's kind of in the middle somewhere. But, yeah, I kind of wonder what Brady's got up his sleeve for tonight. Are we going to continue to see the everybody eats philosophy? I kind of wonder if one of our guys is going to stand out. It seems like Shakir is starting to do that, but, I kind of wonder where the hell Curtis Samuel is.
Right,
man.
right.
Should we go around the league?
The last week of week 3 that ends tonight kicked off Jets-Patriots. Now, last week when we were talking on the show, I said, you asked me what teams make me a little nervous or worried. I did throw out those names in the beginning. I did, which I was like, nah, don't trust me. I'm not worried about them. But they were both surprising me. Well, I guess the Patriots are kind of like, okay. I think they're done. But what do you think about real quick? Let's talk real fast that game and what you think about Rodgers, man. You said Rodgers is looking a little cooked. So what do you think of him right now?
I'm not buying into the hype.
Okay.
I think that Rodgers looked good because the Patriots are pretty terrible. I think they had a lucky win. I think that they probably have one of the worst offenses in the league, but I don't think their defense is very good either, man. I think they're going to be at the bottom of the league. I think Rodgers did so well because there was no pressure on him all game. So I think, that's why he looked so good. Chargers-Steelers. How about that game? Did you catch any of that?
Chargers-Steelers? I did. That was the one game I was watching first. It started a little slow.
Is Justin Fields starting to become the real deal?
Yeah. I know what the question when that game kind of made what brought to mind toward the end watching it. I thought, is there something wrong in Chicago with just their method, their culture there? I don't want to trash talk another team at all, but what is it that quarterbacks kind of go there to die, it seems like? Because Justin Fields had it entering Chicago, and I was like, this kid can definitely do it, but he made dumb decisions, kind of like he would. There were plays in that game where he's running around the corner, the game yesterday, and he's hurdling, he's scrambling to the left, and he stops a little short of the line of scrimmage, and he throws a dart down the field to Pickens or whoever. And it's, there you go. But in Chicago, that same play, he would just kind of like panic and scramble up down the field. And I could say, well, he's a year older. But at the same time, it's like I see a drastic improvement in his decision-making and how he's actually playing the game now. And to me, in 1 year, it's a hell of a leap he's taken. I think Pittsburgh has their quarterback with him. I think it's surprising Russell Wilson's kind of the best second-string quarterback in the league, maybe. But, yeah, I think that's I think it was a good showing by Pittsburgh. Tomlin's another testament to Tomlin's coaching, man. Never a losing season. They're 3-0 now, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that a big believer in culture. I think the culture in Chicago has been pretty bad for a while. I think they've never really had a franchise quarterback. Maybe they do now.
Cutler was the closest they ever had.
It's all about where you go, and I think. Justin Fields is starting to thrive. I still don't think he's going to be elite. I think he has potential to be really good because he can throw the ball. He can, man. When he takes off, when he runs, it's scary. I hope we don't play that team this year, because their defense is probably again elite. Their defense is almost always elite with Tomlin and that cat Watt back there. Yeah, about Texans-Vikings, man.
That was a surprise.
Are the Vikings the real deal?
Nah, the Vikings are definitely the real deal, man. And that's another testament of a quarterback's dying off in New York. I mean, Bradford's playing great there, man. I think they are because their defense is very solid. Their run and pass game is very balanced. It's not like... It's just got a different feel. Like, it's not starting like other seasons where the Vikings have started out and they're kind of like... yeah, okay, they look good, but they just look like it's the Vikings. No, this team looks real, man. That's what I gotta say. And
it's almost October. You got all these horror movies when they have like part 2, part 3, and they have like the revenge, the revenge sequel. I think we're living in the age of Brian Flores' revenge tour.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, man, that Vikings defense looks scary.
That defense is nasty, man. He deserves a head coaching job. He probably won't get one with all that, but he deserves it.
Talk about teams that are they real or not? The Eagles won yesterday, but the Eagles Saints, I think both of those teams probably aren't the real deal. I think the Eagles have been hyped up for the past couple of years. Honestly, I think their coach, there's a lot of good things that he does, but I think he's a little bit overhyped. I don't think he's as good as everybody thinks he is. I don't think the Eagles are as good as everybody thinks they are.
That's where I was going. I was saying the Eagles I think are fake. The Saints I actually think Saints I think faltered a little bit, but I think they have something. They're at least they're ascending. That's I'll say.
I'm rooting for Derek Carr. I like that guy. I think he's he's got big arm talent. But if he gets pressured, if he doesn't have the time, I think he does have history of crumbling, man, under pressure.
Oh, sure.
But I like the guy.
Absolutely.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Broncos Bucks, man. Talk about what's real and what's not, man. I thought Baker and the Bucks were starting to be the real deal, but what happened?
That was probably the biggest surprise of the day yesterday that I saw. It was good to see Bo Nix kind of step into like, okay, this is why they got him, why they wanted him, But what was a little more surprising to me was the lack of execution by the Bucks. The Bucks falling apart. Now I didn't get to watch the whole game or anything like that, but that was surprising. Man, Mayfield I thought was really starting to step up and show who he was drafted to be, which never worked out in Cleveland, obviously. What about that? You want to move to Cleveland Giants? I mean, Malik Neighbors and the Giants is something else, but I mean, my goodness, what is Watson that much of a disaster, or the Giants' defense performed that well?
I think both of these teams are going to be bottom.
Oh, sure, but nobody expects anything from the Giants, I don't think, because they were flopping downhill. Like they didn't. Daniel Jones and everything else didn't. Nothing's expected. I think the Browns were kind of expected with this $50 million a year quarterback. I mean, how?
No, I think Watson is done.
I think he needs a massage, man, and go.
I think he could be a backup quarterback for maybe a good, another 5 or so years. But I don't think he should not be a starting quarterback anymore. I just don't think his arm. It just seems like he lost the ability to control his arm. Bears and Colts. Did you catch any of that one?
Bears and Colts, yes. It looked like Caleb Williams. Him and Rome Dunze hooked up for their first touchdown that game, and that looked nice for that. Other than that, Caleb Williams has not looked very impressive. Did not look as good against the Colts yesterday, I don't think. Anthony Richardson, I don't know, played him in fantasy, and I wish I would have played Stafford. I'll tell you that much. But they did play well. The Colts, I think, looked a little better. I don't have too much else to say about that other than the Bears being the Bears, man. My opinion.
How about the Panthers just stomping
that
the
was
Raiders,
fun, huh?
man?
Andy Dalton, wasn't that the Red Rifle? Coming out, isn't he the first quarterback this season to hit 300?
Just coming out of the alley, man,
to hit
over a pipe in his hand.
The first quarterback to hit over 300 this year, right?
Well, on over 300 and 3 touchdowns.
And 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
Together.
Yeah.
Those two things together.
Right. That's what I mean. That's. When I saw that they brought him in, I go, "Oh God, poor Panthers are really, just grasping." Old Andy's coming out, but Andy
we'll see in the coming.
He had games like that with the
Bengals,
Bengals, though,
that's
man.
a fluke.
I mean, Dalton looked good at times. He's the reason we were in the Bills broke the drought, right? Dalton and
Well, this is why I'm a little bit worried about the Jags, man. When you get a team that's down, they're hurt, they're wounded, they kind of come back, showing their teeth, man. I'm worried about that. I think that's what happened with the Panthers. Are they going to win any more games this year? Maybe 1 or 2. The Ravens-Cowboys game, that was probably the game of the day. In the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
everything
Cowboys,
up until that point, though.
Once the Cowboys came back toward the end and that started making more of a game out of it, before that it just seemed pretty skewed. The Ravens, surprisingly, Lamar, I think he threw one pass over 10 yards, which was a touchdown throw. Something, it was over 10 yards or something. It was something like that. It was a stat I heard.
Oh, really?
And I threw the whole game.
That Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
That Zay Flowers pass.
I
think I saw that.
Okay, yeah. But either way, he did not throw much, and they controlled the hell out of that game until the very end. Cowboys tried to make a show of it, almost did. But
Dak Prescott, he's a weird cat. He shows up for much of the season, but then really when the spotlight is on and all the pressure's on, it's kind of sad because, even though I'm a Bills fan, I kind of feel for that fan base because they have not really closed the deal in a long time, man. Wait a second. Let me edit that out. I do not feel bad for the Dallas fan base at all.
Thank you. That was almost heavy. Come on, man. Oh, all right. As you'll notice, that just kind of faded out there. That's because it is a little after 6 o'clock p.m. Monday night. I have about an hour and 20 minutes until kickoff, and I got to get this video uploaded. And it's just we went on for a while this morning, and it's a shame you missed some good talk about this being a possible Juan Smoot game. We went over a whole bunch of other things. We went over every game from yesterday. Spoke a lot about all the games, the Niners, Rams, everything, broken down. But can't play it for you right now because you know what? It's time for the Bills, baby. I got to get this thing posted. What I need to do is I need to stop working other jobs and making money and all that nonsense. And I need to be so I can keep doing this. So I know what you need to do is like, comment, subscribe on the video. Subscribe. That's the main one there. Just subscribe or follow the DFL podcast wherever you find it, on YouTube especially. And thank you for listening. And let's go Buffalo! Booyah, baby! Come on. We'll see you next week.